What's up, traders? And my name is George, the trader, on all social media platforms Instagram, TikTok, and on YouTube. Our page is Unfiltered and Faith Trading. Unfiltered Faith and Trading. So, subscribe and click on the follow buttons so that you may be notified every time we put up a post. And to grow this community, all you need to do is just check my TikTok bio and join the live trading sessions or inbox me on all my social media platforms so that I add you to the trading community of traders that are taking more profits than screenshots. So let's get started. What I want to share is the reality in the trading space. Most of us are not familiar with trading as forex trading as a career or as an occupation, but one of the things that I embrace in my generation is to be one of the pioneers to have influenced that in my generation. And if you're wondering what forex trading is, some of us fear the candles that move up and down, that are green and blue, that are green, sorry, and red. So based on how the person who is showing you is illustrating them, but uh, as we get to this trading space, we might be encouraged that it is not as hard as you think, and yet it is not as easy as you hear it. Trading as a career is one of the things that is a, is called a skill. It is a skill that as you invest 5 years into becoming a doctor, based on which country you are, that is on my country as a Ugandan, and as many as other professions need for you to study to qualify. But trading is a space where everything can be learned, and as much as you know, trading is not going to reward you based on what you know or based on how much you know, but it's going to reward you according to the patience that you have in the market. Trading is going to reward you with the fear that you have control over in the market. Trading is going to reward you according to the greed that you control in the market. Why do I say this? That trading, the reality of trading is that trading will help you find out yourself when it comes to money. When you are a very comfortable person when it comes to money and you don't have greed, trading, one of the issues that you will have to deal with trading will be removed off the list, because most of the things that are uh, tested when it comes to the trading space is the fear. What do I talk about? Why do I say this about fear? Fear is one of the things for the traders that know very well, or when you start your journey with me, you'll understand that sometimes you will want to enter the market and it's the right time to enter the market, but you feel that you want to delay a bit to enter that position or to open up your position in that particular trade, whether it is GBP USD, whether it is GBP JPY. Sometimes you'll feel like it is like you deserve to wait for the trade to play out. And when the plays out, and it was the same analysis that you had on the chart, it will somehow affect your mind. It will somehow affect, and we say, well, why didn't I take this trade? Now that is fear. Then when it comes to greed is one of the things that you say that I am targeting a profit of $100 every day, or I'm targeting a profit of $200 every day. But when it comes to you opening that trade and you have made the $100 already, what will happen is that some of us will want to stay in the trade longer, to aim for more $200, to aim for more $150, because it makes more sense. to see the trade going in your direction. But when the trade starts retracing and even comes back to your entry and even blows your account, blowing your account for the people that don't know trading is that it wipes out your entire capital and equity. What is equity in trading? Equity is the money that you require as capital in your trading account, because forex trading is the buying and selling of different commodities. When we are selling different commodities, it comes back to currencies. Currencies are commodities in the economic market. In the economic market, you'll find commodities like US oil. You'll find, okay, in the forex space, we term them as currencies. We term them as currencies, and there is, just like how you go to forex bureaus and start and say that I want $100. Here is my Ugandan shillings. There, that means you're buying the dollar and you're selling the Ugandan shillings. But when you have the $100 note and you say that I want Ugandan shillings, that means that you are buying the Ugandan shillings and you are selling your $100. That is what happens in a forex market. Forex markets are highly influenced and highly uh, affected by whatever is going on in the world. For example, by the time the Queen of England died, may her soul rest in eternal peace, one of the things happened, and the GBP, or the Great British Pound, Great Britain, Great British Pound, fell, and it was a time of recession in the United Kingdom. Recession means that uh, the currency lost a lot of value, and it was one of those terms they call, what do they what does that term refer to? Uh, Inflation. So that is where the Great British Pound, because at that point I was in United Arab Emirates and I had bought my, it was about £300, and by the time I bought it, it carried some weight, and by the time the Queen of England died, I remember my British pound was worthless. But I kept it. Yeah, I kept it. By that time, even I was not aware of what forex is, but I'm trying to bring you to the familiarity of what and how forex works. So forex markets work based on global events, based on patterns, based on the history of the economy. Sometimes, when you, for example, in Uganda, we know that once it comes to the festive seasons, around the 25th of December to the 1st of January, uh, there are some things on the market and there is a high demand for them. Therefore, the value of them has increased. Okay, the value of them has increased. That means their demand is high. But in most cases, the supply is low because of the demand. Most of you that did economics and know the when it's the law of demand and supply. When the supply is high, the demand is low because it's everywhere on the market. When the when the when the when the demand is less, the supply happens to be high. Or when the supply is high, when the supply is high, the demand happens to be low. But demand, when the supply is very low, the demand happens to be very high. That is why there is a number of diamonds in the world. There is a number of gold. There is a limited number of gold in the world. It's not as common as you see dust. It's not as common as you see limestone. It's not as common as you see sand. because there is value attached to that kind of metal. So when it comes to the market, that's how things are. That's why banks don't print unlimited number of notes, because they need to create that demand. They need to create that demand because the supply has to be less. When there is a lot of money in the country, we all know what will happen. It will cause inflation. For example, if one man has a lot of money and they go on a village and they give it out, that means that uh, that the demand on that specific kind of money will have reduced in that moment of time. So that is why banks regulate even the printing of money and whatnot. So that is a few glimpse of what happens in the forex market. Is that when you're a forex trader, you know, you study patterns, you study news, you study global affairs happening in the world. And if you're to understand that forex traders are the most uh, one of the most informed people in the world, because you need to look at every global aspect. For example, when they hit the biggest pipeline that was somewhere in Iran, we saw that means that the supply of oil, what happened? The supply reduced, so the demand went on the rise, and that means that the prices of oil shot to the roof. When it happens that the US dollar is loses its credibility, or is affected by one event or the other, we see a lot of pairs related to it go to the roof, shoot the roof. For example, gold is described as a safe haven. Why is it described as a safe haven? It's described as a safe haven because once all currency is numb, all doesn't have uh, a power of exchange, gold still has that power of exchange, and it is one of the things that is described as a safe haven because it doesn't lose its value that quick. So what happens when there is inflation in the United States? Many people will go to buy gold because they know that their money will not be affected. Instead of keeping money in banks and let it be there and not produce anything, they rather invest that money in gold. And that means, and when too much money is invested into an asset, like currency, like commodities, like products, when too much money is invested in that asset, that is what we call liquidity in forex markets or in forex trading. That liquidity is the amount of money in circulation in the market for that specific pair. Okay? So when there is too much liquidity, for example, when there is too much liquidity in an asset, it has the way it affects its volatility. Okay? Most of the time, the liquidity lowers the volatility of an asset in forex trading. Why? Because uh, it reduces it makes it more stable. For example, there is too much liquidity on the United States dollar. That's why it is highly stable. It's not that volatile. That's why when you when you have a United States dollar bank account, it's not very easy to hear that you experienced too much loss for over longest time. It's the way of avoiding inflation. Like how I described, that many people are investing a lot in gold so that that inflation is not affecting their money. So in case of too much liquidity in the market, that market has less slippage or what we might term as economic imbalances. So, for a new person in the forex market, this is the reality that these things are very relatable. But what is affecting us to be far away from it as Africans is that it is very like it is very rich in information that you need to be varied with every statistics in the world. Not very, of course, in this video I'll make some mistakes, but you can correct me in the comment section. But so it is a series of learning when you're in the forex market that you're exposed to a lot of things that happen to relate. That's why when you find most bankers, when you find most traders, I think, let me exclude bankers, but when you find most traders know how to manage their finances. They know how to uh, delegate a certain amount of money for this and this and this and this and this, because money has become their language. When you come to Forex, money is the language. Dollars are the language. Ugandan shillings are the language. Pounds are the language. Uh, Switzerland, francs are the language. CHF is the language. You get. So as much as I've spent quite some good time in the forex space. I want you to understand that it's not as hard as you think. So one of the things that you need to understand in trading that many people might not have shared, many people have not might not have spoken about as there is more flashlights out there more than the truth about trading. Trading is one of the carriers that will make you experience yourself. It's one of the carriers that will make you find your true self. What do I mean by finding your true self? Is that it's one of the spaces that will make it easier for you to understand if you have greed, if you have fear, and if you have impatience in the market. Because those are the three things that the market rewards. Okay? So, what do I mean? Is that trading has, or like I defined, it's a space because I'll record these videos more often for someone who is starting trading. But today I just wanted to give you a very broad aspect on what forex trading is and what the relations to it, why you hear traders saying this dumped. You see the dollar falling, you see the Ugandan shillings falling, is because of a few aspects in a space that is economical. So, as a forex trader, one of the things that I've learned so far is that the market will make you become a better person. And if you don't figure that out, you might quit trading as fast as you understand it. Because the trading space is a space that will help you understand that yes, there is much more money in the market, but this is the analysis that I made today.